Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Daniel Habib, and I treat a lot of expats in São Paulo, and this is why I'm doing this video. It's a video specially done for you. Why? Because you have high positions in the industry, in the commerce, and that's very important because it might help us to get to the governor to let him know what should be done or what can be done or what are the real problems we're facing with the epidemic in São Paulo and in Brazil. There's a huge dispute over politicians, and I don't want to enter into this terrain because this is horrible. You start saying this guy did this and he did that, and it's only a fight that leads us nowhere. We have to find a solution. Now, what's going on with the epidemic? The huge problem we have with the epidemic is that a lot of old people are in danger. They are the high risk group. So, one of the things we need to think about and one of the things we need to do is to make sure that old people don't meet younger people. This is very important. In Israel, I think they've done this with a lot of success. Now, what's going on in Brazil now is that everybody thinks that staying at home will solve the problem. Well, it might solve the epidemic, but it will kill us because we will not be able to eat anymore. We're going to have a social nightmare. I think some people are not understanding the social nightmare that we're about to live if we continue with this Brazilian shutdown. We're not in America, we're not in Europe, there's absolutely no social protection. So when people stop working, they cannot eat, they cannot buy food. I mean, it's not anymore something that you will have less money. It's not that. This is not the problem. The problem is that people are going to attack the supermarkets. I think we need to understand this. And I've seen people who seem to say, no, we need to protect the country with the deaths. Well, of course, but we cannot have a cure that treats the disease and kills the patient. This is what happens with cancer. We have cancer treatments that cure the patient. 100% success, but they kill the patients because the medication is too strong. Here, what we're facing, it's either the death toll, which is horrible, I agree and I understand, I'm a doctor, I work with this. But the other solution is that if we try to stop the death toll, what we're going to have is hunger. It's a nightmare with economy. We're already facing almost the recession. Our increase in gross product is 1% a year, which for an emergent country is a nightmare. This is a shame. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Nobody here has money in the bank that could eventually be used in such a situation. That's how it goes. Brazilians don't save money when they have their wages. This is a reality. So they have no money. So when they don't work, they don't get the salary, they cannot buy food. Now, what is going to happen if these people go to the supermarkets, they cannot buy anything? I'll tell you, they're going to join in groups and they're going to attack the supermarkets. So, what we're facing now is very simple. It's either avoid the death toll or have the biggest and hugest economical crisis that Brazil has ever lived. So why am I saying this? Because eventually we have an intermediate solution. It's to get old people isolated because these guys are the guys who are going to die. Now we have to be realistic. We cannot live in Santa Claus country. I've seen Brazilians telling me, but of course, a lot of people are going to die. Do you accept this? You're a doctor. How come you speak of economy? Well, I'm a doctor, but I have to take care of everything and not only the patients. We're citizens, and I'm worried. I'm really extremely worried. So, people like you who have high positions in jobs, who are executives for very high, very nice industries, you're the ones who can get eventually to talk to Doria, our government, because I think they're not understanding what's going on, really. I've seen infectologists say a lot of shit, I'm sorry, but that's the true word. 10 days ago, in my group of doctors in WhatsApp, I received a message from infectologists from one of the biggest hospitals in Sao Paulo saying we should not test people. This was bad medicine. Can you believe this? If these people are telling our government what he needs to do, we are in a hole. I'm sorry, we're in the dark. This is horrible. So we have to find a solution where we avoid dead people, but we avoid the economical crisis. How can we do this? Separating old people from young people. Of course, we will have some issues with young people. I agree. This is normal. We can die at any age with any infection. Infections are not easy. So we have to understand that this is normal and it will happen anytime, anywhere. Now, what we cannot afford is to have the old people together with young people, because these old people die very easily. So we need to isolate them. How to do this? I don't know. The only thing is that we have to put our brains to work on this. We have to find a solution. High and medium class people eventually can stay in their houses in a room. But when you go down to the poor class, they cannot do this. Where do we put these old people? Eventually in hotels. I don't know. They're building hospitals. They should build hotels to isolate the old people. Let's pay for them. Let's give them food. Let them live isolated. So this is what I'm asking, and this is what I want you to understand. We're not USA, we're not Europe. There's no social protection. People here, when they don't work, they cannot eat. They cannot eat. So it's more than just an epidemic. It's a social crisis with a size that we cannot even try to understand once this is over. So I think the shutdown is important, but for a short time. We have to get back to work. Thank you, and I hope we can all work out something to try to solve this problem. In Israel, death rate is 0.2%. In Brazil, it's 2%. But in Israel, old people don't get close to young people. In the US today, the death rate is 1.34%, which is not so bad. But anyway, the difference with Israel is quite huge. It's 6 or 7 times more in the US than in Israel. What are they doing in Israel? Isolating old people. This is what we need to do, and that's the solution we need to share with our governments and our politicians. Thank you.